Most real change doesn't announce itself. It doesn't come with applause, viral moments, or overnight success. It happens quietly, when no one is watching. This is quiet improvement. This channel is about motivation and personal growth, without hype, without pressure, and without pretending that life changes overnight. Here, we focus on progress that's real, sustainable, and built slowly through discipline, clarity, and self-awareness. I'm not a personal development guru or a life coach. I'm simply sharing what I've learned through life experience, reflection, reading, and research, what has helped me grow, adapt, and move forward when things felt unclear. If you've ever felt stuck, mentally tired, or disconnected from the version of yourself you're trying to become, you're in the right place. Because quiet improvement is how real change actually happens. Today, start by offering yourself a little grace, and remind yourself not to judge how long your journey is taking. Each of us needs our own pace to walk a distance that belongs only to us. Every step matters, and everyone walks it in their own way. Just because growth isn't always visible doesn't mean it isn't happening. Think of a seed beneath the soil. For weeks, nothing seems to change. But below the surface, roots are taking hold. Growth works the same way. The effort you're making today may not show immediate results. The skills you're building might not be obvious yet. The challenges you're facing may feel like setbacks, but they're shaping you. Progress isn't always loud, most of the time, it's quiet. Be patient. Keep going. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. There's a saying that goes, when a seed grows, it's silent. When a tree falls, it makes a lot of noise. Destruction is loud, creation is quiet. This quote often circulates as something Confucius said, but it's better understood as a modern proverb inspired by Eastern wisdom. And that distinction matters, not to take away from its beauty, but to sharpen what it teaches us. I truly understand this. We live in a world that celebrates loud wins, overnight success, and viral moments. But the truth is, real and lasting progress is rarely noisy. Most of the time, it's built through quiet, consistent routines. It's showing up day after day, doing the reps, moving forward little by little. And it's easy to feel discouraged when results don't come as fast as we want them to. Trust me, I've been there. But I've learned something important. Those small, seemingly insignificant steps add up in ways we can't even imagine. Every workout, every chapter you read, every stage of your project, it all counts. It all compounds, slowly and steadily. The key is not to get discouraged by the lack of fireworks. Real progress works like a ninja, silent and unseen, and before you realize it, it's already arrived. One day you wake up and think, wow. When did I become this strong, this capable, this wise? So keep moving forward. Keep showing up. Keep persisting. Make a promise to yourself not to quit, and keep building. The spectacular victories will come when you least expect them. But the real win is the journey, every step you're taking right now. Trust the process, stay consistent, and incredible things will happen. It's normal to sometimes feel frustrated, stuck, or drained of the energy to change. Many environments reinforce this feeling, as if conflict were the only path forward. But when your life turns into an internal and external battlefield, everything starts to feel like an endless fight, like a superhero movie where the war never ends. When conflict becomes the central mindset, the dominant emotion is anger, and anger creates resistance to everything we need to do. Resentment starts to slip in through the cracks. We question our choices, blame ourselves for expecting something different, and almost feel anger toward our current circumstances, wishing everything were simpler. Then we fall into the habit of blaming others, the company, the boss, the role that didn't turn out the way we imagined. But deep down, we're really disappointed with ourselves. The problem with blaming others is that we lose our sense of responsibility for our situation. We start believing we have no choices. And that's where stress and frustration settle in like a thick fog. We lose sight of our why, feel emotionally trapped, and sink into disappointment. But believe this, those emotions serve a purpose. They show that you care, that there's still a spark inside you, a desire to move beyond win-lose games. As a coach, I see this as a sign of life. And my role is to help you recognize and respond to these feelings in a way that actually serves you. This process allows you to take responsibility for what you think and feel. And that step is liberating, because it dissolves the conflict created by assumptions and interpretations that quietly work their way into your story. Growth comes precisely from challenge. Show yourself, in dozens of small ways, that you have the strength to step into life's ring every single day. You can start with something simple, set an intention each morning. How do you want your day to feel? How will you respond if things don't go as planned? What unnecessary conflict can you avoid? What are you making harder than it needs to be? Your life is a work in progress. You weren't born finished, but with effort and dedication, you can become a little better every day. And there's a real, genuine pleasure in that progress. Carry these questions with you this week, and notice how, day by day, you grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded. In the quiet that builds everything that truly matters. Have you ever stopped to think about how your personality influences the way you deal with change? Research shows that it plays a major role in our well-being during transitions. For people who thrive on routine, big changes can be a major source of stress. For those who crave novelty and spontaneity, transformation tends to feel more welcome. But it's fair to say that the changes we're living through today affect everyone. Even the most easygoing people, the ones who usually face life with a smile. When change happens outside our control, everything can feel harder to process. That's why I want to share something important with you about how we, as humans, respond to major change, and how you can move through it with more ease. Maybe this will help you see your own situation with fresh eyes. First, understand this, even positive change can make us feel unsettled. And that's okay. If you've been feeling more anxious, uncomfortable, or unstable lately, that's completely normal. Interestingly, our brains tend to process all major changes in similar ways. Even events that seem joyful, like having a child or getting married, can trigger feelings of discomfort or unfamiliarity. Think of this as a natural protective response to the unknown. Second, managing your stress makes it much easier to build new habits. When something feels new and unpredictable, the brain activates a stress response, which often pulls us back into old patterns. By adopting practices that reduce tension, like exercise or meditation, you strengthen your self-control. This calm command over your behavior is essential when creating new routines, whether that's working from home or adding physical activity to your day and breaking habits tied to your old environment. Third, we're influenced by something called uncertainty bias. A tendency to expect the worst in ambiguous situations. Recognizing this automatic response can help you move through change in a healthier way. As humans, we carry hundreds of unconscious biases, irrational beliefs that shape our decisions without us realizing it. During periods of high uncertainty, this negative bias is often active. That doesn't mean everything is actually fine or that you should expect only the best. But when you notice that your mind may be leaning toward negativity, you can step back, create distance from those thoughts, and evaluate your reality with more clarity and hope. Change often begins quietly. As a feeling that something is no longer aligned, emotional fatigue, recurring arguments, or the sense that every week looks exactly the same. Don't expect clarity and motivation to arrive together. In real life, clarity usually comes first, motivation follows later, and confidence builds over time. Transformation grows slowly, through small internal adjustments that only become obvious when you look back. Now, let's talk about something crucial. Change is not something everyone wants, and you can't force others to change. But if you believe things can't change because they never have before, it's time to question that belief. If you feel like nothing has improved for you, I'm not going to pat you on the back and say, everything will be fine. You've probably heard that before, along with breathing exercises or visualization techniques that, on their own, didn't really work. And if they didn't bring the results you hoped for, that's not your fault. The way we've been taught to think about change is often disconnected from how real life actually works. If you've never seen things get better, maybe it's time to stop waiting passively and start acting differently. Consider this your sign to challenge yourself. Life isn't a performance, it's real. And real change doesn't happen while you wait for motivation to show up, or while you wonder why your efforts aren't paying off. It happens when you take a brave, deliberate action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Especially when it feels uncomfortable. Think about that moment when you consider going to the gym on a dark, cold, rainy day, when it would be so much easier to stay on the couch under a blanket watching a movie. It's not easy. I'll say it again, it's not easy. But it becomes more doable when you create strategies that work in your favor. The truth is, you have to be willing to do hard things and commit for the long term. Yes, progress accelerates when you decide that every single day you'll do something, even something small, to move closer to your goal. I know my own weak point, getting dressed and packing my gear when it's cold. So I made a kind of Ulysses pact with myself. I keep a gym bag packed and my shoes by the door. I tell myself, I'll go to the gym, and if I still don't feel like training, at least I made it off the couch. Most of the time, I end up working out. Sometimes for less time, but I show up. That's how real change is built, through intentional action, preparation, and the courage to take the first step, especially when everything inside you wants to stay still. You're capable of more than you realize, and every small decision brings you closer to the life you want to create. If this message resonated with you, take one small step today. Choose one simple action, just one, that moves you forward, even if it feels uncomfortable. And if you want more reflections like this on quiet growth, real change, and building a better life step by step, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with someone who might need to hear it right now. Quiet improvement is powerful, and you don't have to walk this journey alone. Every January, we hear the same message: it's time to start over. New goals. New habits. A new version of you. But if we're being honest, most people don't need another restart, they need relief. They need clarity. They need to stop pretending that pushing just a little harder will magically fix everything. The truth is, if you're here right now, it's probably not because you lack discipline or ambition. It's because something that once worked, simply doesn't anymore. And no amount of motivation will solve that. Silence can be the doorway to deep introspection. It's a space where your mind can wander without distraction, allowing you to connect with your most honest thoughts and feelings. This kind of self-reflection is essential for growth, because it nurtures a clearer understanding of your values and your true goals. Ignoring this inner moment can lead to regret, impulsive decisions, careless words, and outcomes you never wanted. Practices like meditation and mindfulness bring silence into daily life and can significantly improve mental health. The goal isn't to empty your mind, but to focus on what truly matters. Reducing stress, increasing clarity, and cultivating a calmer state of mind. But there's another kind of silence that people rarely talk about. It doesn't arrive as a dramatic collapse or total burnout. It shows up quietly, in the middle of a life that looks fine from the outside. You're doing everything right, showing up, being responsible, capable, productive. And yet, something feels off. This silence shows up as a sense of being scattered, even when you're getting things done. As doubt in decisions you used to make with confidence and intuition. As a quiet knowing that something in your life or work is misaligned, even if you can't yet name what it is. You want momentum, you want to move forward, but you're afraid of slipping back into exhaustion. On paper, you may look successful. Inside, you feel disconnected, from your work, from your pace, even from yourself. This is often the moment when people start searching for answers. They try to redefine themselves. New plans, new goals, more personal development content, more strategy. They wait for the right moment when everything will finally feel clear and calm. And still, the feeling remains. Because what you're experiencing isn't a lack of motivation, discipline, or ambition. It's that your life has moved forward, but your internal compass has changed. Your values, your capabilities, and your priorities have evolved, and the way you're operating no longer reflects who you are today. That disconnection is the source of the restlessness, the overthinking, and the constant sense that something needs to change, even if you don't yet know what. And the answer isn't to do more, it's to listen more. To give space to the silence that's already whispering inside you. Quiet improvement is for people who are tired of forcing themselves forward. For people who don't need louder motivation, but deeper alignment. For those who understand that real change doesn't announce itself. It builds quietly, patiently, from the inside out. You don't need to reinvent your life overnight. You don't need a dramatic breakthrough. What you need is honesty, presence, and the courage to take one small step that actually fits who you are now. That's how real change happens. Not all at once. Not loudly. But consistently, and quietly. If this video spoke to you, take a moment to pause today, even just a few minutes, and listen. No phone. No noise. Just you and your thoughts. And if you want more reflections like this on quiet growth, alignment, and real, sustainable change, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who might need this reminder right now. Thank you for being here and for giving yourself this time. Until the next video, keep showing up, keep listening, and keep improving, quietly.